Hello everybody and welcome to EBINOTTbeauty. I am EBINOTTI and today I'm going to show you guys how I got this beach sunset inspired eye look. I am obsessed with these new eyeshadows that I've been trying from Shein. I highly recommend them. If you guys want, you can go over and follow me on Instagram. I've got EBINOTTbeauty over there showing you guys some styling videos. Obviously lots and lots of makeup and products and everything like that. So let's get into this makeup look. We're going to start off today with priming with the Nivea post-shave or aftershave balm. This is a men's product and I love this primer because it's a little bit more gentle and easier to work with than some other primers that you find with the silicone base. It has a really high scent, so that's the only thing. I would be careful with that if you're highly sensitive. Give it a couple minutes before you step into your foundation. Today we're going to use the SHEGLAM foundation, another makeup product from Shein. If you haven't heard of Shein, you must be living under a rock at this point because it's extremely popular. I'm going to mix in some of the catrice foundation. Sorry, I can't speak today at all. So just a couple drops of this into the SHEGLAM foundation to lighten up the color and also bring the consistency down a little bit. I don't need such a full coverage foundation today, and the SHEGLAM is pretty full coverage, so we've got a nice consistency going on here, and that's exactly what I was looking for. We're just going to dot that all over the face to get us started before we use a sponge to blend it out. These are the typical places I like to drop my foundation in when I'm using my finger to apply it, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to move it all over the face anyways, so however you want to do it, get it on your face, grab your sponge, and we will start blending. I picked up a 3-pack of sponges from Shein as well, from this SHEGLAM brand. This is one of them. Not my favorite sponge in the world, but definitely gets the job done. Leaves a beautiful finish. Really, it's a personal preference on why this isn't the best sponge for me. And it's just the consistency of it, the way it feels. It's a bit softer than I like my sponges to be. So you can pick these up. They're extremely affordable, even compared to affordable sponges like Real Techniques and Quo. And I would say that this is better than the Quo sponges that I've tried for sure. So if you know sponges and you're in the market, hopefully that helps you out a little bit. We're going to really take the time to blend our foundation in. That makes a huge difference when you're trying to get like that flawless base look. Go around your ears, around your jawline, down your chin. Bring it down your neck if you need to when there's almost nothing left on your sponge. That will again help you make everything look really cohesive and not like you're wearing some kind of a mask, because that's not cute. For concealer today, we're going to use the SHEGLAM concealers. I'm going to start off, luckily I've got a broken nail here so I can actually apply it with my fingers. Otherwise you can apply these with a brush or something before you blend it out with a sponge, but dropping it under the eyes here, making sure to get in those inner corners really nicely because some darkness, like from dark circles, likes to hide up there. So under the eyes, tip of the nose, bridge of the nose. Cupid's bow and chin, I always highlight those areas down the T-zone, the center of the face, and then a little bit above the brows. Taking that same sponge, but with the pointy end this time, we're going to blend that all out. We really want to take the time, again, to blend out the products that we're putting on the face, but when it comes to concealer, you don't want to over blend because you'll really lose a lot of the product. So if you find that you're blending and you don't like it, you can re-add a little bit more concealer on top because that sponge really does take a lot of it away. We're going to cream contour today, and I'm going to use this SHEGLAM product. This is going to be the perfect example of why you have to be very, very careful with cream contours because they can dry down very, very quickly, and this is one of those products. So as you see, I'm doing section by section here, whereas normally when I use, if you've watched any of my other videos and I use the contour sticks from Wet n Wild, I'll draw the whole face before I start blending. This product from SHEGLAM, I already made that mistake and I know better. So section by section, because it's not a very malleable product, it dries down very, very quickly. You want to make sure, pardon me, you want to make sure that you're working with it before it dries down so that you can move it around and blend it and get it where you need. I always do a little bit of cream contour under the chin because I have a bit of a long face. So I like to shorten up my chin just a little bit and also bring some drama to the jawline. If you've got a very round jawline, you have to be very, very careful and make sure you blend this product out very well. Otherwise, you're going to have like a weird brown smudge under your chin that people will see when your face moves around. Okay? So just things to be aware of. Make expressions in the mirror when you're doing your makeup. Turn your face from all different angles so that you can really look for these things. You don't want to be caught unawares with like a full face of makeup and something looking crazy and you're out of the house for like 8 hours, you know, it'd be really unfortunate. So take the time to make sure things are blended properly. We're going to do a little cream contouring on the nose to bring some life back in here. That's pretty much how I do it. A couple of lines and then flicking it up towards the bridge. I also like to have this product up between my eyes and then drag it across my eyelids like I'm doing now. So just bringing some warmth back into the face. Now that we've got everything blended as much as we can with our brush, we go back in with the sponge with the side that we used for foundation. So in my case, that was the big round side. And first thing, I'm going to blend all around the edges of where the highlighting concealer met the cream contour. Okay, so that's the first thing, and then just press it until it looks nice and blended like we have now. Wait a couple of minutes and then go into your baking powder. That would be the next thing. I'm using this light pink shade from SHEGLAM, another product that I found on Shein. I love the way that this baking powder works. It's absolutely flawless under the eyes. It's really lightweight as well, so you don't have to struggle with any kind of cakiness or it falling into fine lines. It's really a beautiful product. I highly recommend the loose setting powders from SHEGLAM. Baking the chin around the Cupid's bow and the smile lines, making sure everything's pressed in, but using it really, really lightly, no pressure with this brush. I'm using a dense kabuki brush for this. Some people do like to use their sponge, so whatever works for you on that one. Making sure to set the eyelids and get all ready for eyeshadows as well. That's a big step. I don't always show this step on camera because it's easy to cut out sort of by accident, but I blend out the nose contour as well and then just make sure that everything is properly pressed in. So a bit of a pro tip for you there. Then we're going to set the rest of the face. I'm using this Makeup Revolution. Sorry you can't see that very well, but I'm using this Makeup Revolution powder. I think I just put catrice on that, so I'm going to have to fix that. But it is the Makeup Revolution setting powders, and I put it in the palm of my hand. You can put it on a paper towel or something, but I've always used the palm of my hand for this, and we're just going to set the rest of the face now where all that cream contour went. So blending all that baking powder out, but first just kind of tapping this lightly on so that we don't move any of the cream products underneath around. You want to make sure that everything is set really nicely before you start buffing in any way, so doing like round circular motions. You want to make sure that everything is set down and not feeling sticky anymore before you start doing any kind of buffing motion. So that's what I'm doing today. Please ignore my super annoying boyfriend in the background who's doing something in the kitchen. I'm just kidding, but sorry. Anyways, moving on. So just buffing that all around the face, really making sure to take the time to set those powders in. That's going to make a big difference. Take it down the neck. Buff everything around, really feel the face. I feel it two ways, from myself, and then if I'm not sure, I go back with my fingertips and I give it a tap. You can wait 5 minutes at this point as well, just to make sure that all your makeup is set and everything is working really well before you step into your bronzer. Now today we're going to use the Milani bronzer. I've been absolutely loving this product. It is stunning. It is definitely the right color. If you've ever had problems with your bronzer being too warm or too red or anything like that, this is a great option that's right in the middle. So I love an easy to use bronzer like this where you can contour with it, or you can just throw it all over the face with like a big fluffy brush like I'm doing today. So yeah, just taking it around the ears and down the jawline. I like to do sort of up around my chin as well, just to give a bit of a contour. At this stage, I hate having foundation on my lips. Once my base is pretty much done, I always clean off my lips and add a lip gloss. For highlighter today, we're using the Wet n Wild Precious Petals highlighter. This is one of my new favorite products, like the new bronzer that I'm using. It was really surprising for me to finally get off the Master Chrome Maybelline highlighters for this one. So love this product. It will definitely be in my winter favorites, so you can keep an eye out for that. The only thing I say is make sure you really blend this product into the cheek nicely, or you will get a metallic reflect on the cheek, which is not, it's just not cute. So it's a great product to use, but watch how much you layer and how much of the product you are using, especially if you have textured cheeks. And then just take the time to blend it out. It's really, it's that simple. If you've added too much, you can always use your sponge to remove a little bit of it, but for the most part, like, I like quite a bit of highlighter, a bit of a glass skin look. So I throw this all over. I just make sure I take the time to blend it out, which I'm showing you guys today. Keep in mind that this is sped up twice as fast as I'm actually moving in real life, so I really do take the time. I like to highlight my nose, my Cupid's bow, a little bit on my chin, but mostly I focus it on the tip of the nose and the Cupid's bow, outside of the cheeks. So it's time, it is finally time to get into eyes. We're using this SHEGLAM Beach Sunset palette, a stunning palette. I've been nothing but impressed with their eyeshadow palettes. I've got 3 or 4 of them now, so you'll be seeing them quite a bit. Here's what the colors look like. This palette is almost brand new. I've used it once or twice before that, so it's really holding up well. It's a stunning palette. So first we're gonna step into this transition shade and just get everything prepped for a nice dark, smoky, beachy color. So I'm gonna put this all over the eyelid first. No, sorry, before we step into the contour shade that I just showed you guys, I'm using a little bit of my foundation powder just to, as you can see, kind of blank out the canvas of the eyelid and make it a nice flat color so that all the colors really show true to color. So that's a bit of a pro tip for you. You can use a little bit more foundation or just like a lighter eyeshadow color and prep the eyelids like I'm doing here. I'm also taking that a little bit under the eye to get that ready because I know I'm gonna smoke out under my eye as well. Now we're gonna go into that first transition shade. So just putting that in the crease and focusing it on the outer corner of the eye. I wanted to show you guys my placement on that and then just buffing it and blowing it out, making sure it's nice and smooth, that nothing's patchy, that you've got color and shading where you want that color and shading to be. So this, again, on the other eye, focusing it on the outer corner. I've been doing this for a long time, so I know where I want the shadows to be, but in the beginning and for years and years, it took me a lot of time to really get this shape down. So that's what you want to focus on, is your eyeshadow placement, how much pigmentation you want in that placement, and then just get good at perfecting that. That's really all it takes. It's a lot of practice, it's a lot of trial and error, and more than anything, it is a lot of blending. If you think you've blended enough, you haven't. Keep blending. That's just how, that's a general rule. Going into this more orangey shade, stunning, love this color. We're gonna do pretty much the exact same thing and put it in the exact same place. This color is a lot more pigmented and is gonna show up on the eye quite a bit more. So if you don't wanna blow this all the way out towards your temple or up towards your eyebrow, be very careful when you get into these mid-tone shades. I'm gonna smoke it out quite a bit today, but basically keeping it in that same shape, just a little bit out, flicking it out past the eyelashes and then in towards the inner corner. Keeping it in the crease, basically off the eyelid, because we're gonna add a shimmer shade to the eyelid. It's okay if it comes down a little bit past the crease and onto your eyelid, because we can cover that, but you mostly want to keep this above the eyelid and in the crease. I am pulling it up to the brow quite a bit as well. And just blending, 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 adding a little bit more pigmentation. Now we're gonna step into the darkest shade. I'm gonna add this just a little bit into the outer corners to add a little bit more depth and also take away some of the warmth. The brown that I'm using here is a lot more neutral, has a lot less warmth in it. So this look is also going a little more reddy orange than I want. So I'm gonna pull it back and neutralize it with this brown shade in the outer corner. I'm keeping this shade very, very tight. I am not blowing this out, I'm just blending the edges, but really trying to keep it in that outer third. We're gonna go back to the original transition shade now and blend out all of our edges. This is really important when you're doing a vibrant color on the eye, is to really make sure all those edges are blended perfectly. So this is another pro tip, is to go back to your original transition shade and layer that on top, especially around the edges. You really don't wanna make it muddy in any way, so you don't wanna just throw this color on top of everything that you've done. For layering, you see how there's a nice gradient going on there and you can really see the different shades that we've used. That's the key. I'm gonna use both of these colors now, mix them together and go under the eye. It's time to bring that shape into this as well. I like to do that at this point to really see what kind of direction the eye shape, the shades that we've used are going in, to see what kind of adding, taking away, color change, that kind of thing. So just buffing that with a little round fluffy brush under the eye. I've had this brush for so many years. I have no idea where I got it, but it is my favorite brush for under the eye. And sometimes I just use my finger to press it out, just make sure it's all nicely blended. Next, we're gonna go into this stunning shimmer shade. It's almost like a foil eyeshadow. Shows up so beautifully when you can use it with your finger, which luckily, again, that broken nail's coming in handy today. So I'm gonna press this all over the lid, keeping it just out of the inner corner. So just on the inner corner, I'm gonna leave a little bit of a gap there, but all the way to the outer corner, all the way up to the crease, I'm covering the lid with this shade. The pigmentation is stunning in these eyeshadows. I highly, highly recommend you check out Shein, SHEGLAM. Shein is the company or the app, SHEGLAM is the brand. And I got this recommendation off Carly Bible. If you guys know Carly Bible, the OG of OGs of makeup tutorials. I was so surprised to see her doing a SHEGLAM tutorial, but as soon as she did, I jumped on and ordered right away. I've been loving Shein for clothes lately. You guys can, again, check me out on Instagram if you want to see some of those styling tips. I did go to fashion school, so I got a bit of background there. Next, we're going to go into this shade. This is so exciting. I love using colors for the inner corner highlight lately, and this one did not disappoint. So at first it was kind of like, not a lot of payoff. I'm not really very impressed. I dig into the palette a little bit more and get a little bit more of the eyeshadow. I think there's like a bit of a layer on these eyeshadows when they're brand new. So when I pull the brush, like you need to do with a lot of foiled eyeshadows, then I really get the payoff that I was looking for. So play around with your eyeshadows if you've, especially the shimmery, glittery, foiled shadows. If you've never gotten the effect you were looking for, try dragging or using a finger, or try a different brush, or wet it with the setting spray. I'll show you guys that one sometime soon as well. Why can I never remember where my eyeliners are from? Who knows? But it's because I've had them for like 400 years. So this eyeliner, I'm just going to use like any brown eyeliner. I didn't want to use black. I really wanted to keep this one in the sort of range of tones, of warm tones. So just using a brown to smudge along the lash line, not trying to keep this neat or anything like that, or flick out a wing, just smudging something in so that we can go in with a dark eyeshadow and it'll have something to stick to. That's a big pro tip when you have when you have glitters, shimmers, and foils on the eyelid, is sometimes your eyeliner won't show up, especially if you're using like an eyeshadow to create an eyeliner look. So putting a little bit of like actual pencil liner underneath and then using the eyeshadow can help you get the payoff you're looking for without having to use a liquid liner or black. Now we are going to create a bit of a wing using what's left of the pencil product on my brush and the eyeshadow. I'm just flicking it out a little bit and creating a little bit of drama. By the time we do mascara and stuff, none of this will be seen, but it does give a pretty effect. You can also do the fox eye thing where you come on the inner corner. I really wasn't in the mood today, but that would look amazing with a look like this as well. If you guys really want to see the fox eyes, drop it in the comment and I'll show you a tutorial on that. Going back into that nice dark shade. I just wanted to add a little bit into the crease, a little bit more dimension. I felt like those wings were just kind of like out there on their own, hanging out. So taking that dark shadow again with a bit of a flat round brush, I'm just gonna smoke out the edges and then connect it to the crease by dragging it back. If you can see the lines that I'm creating, it's almost like that Egyptian sort of liner look. And now that's kind of brought it all together a little bit more, so we like that a lot more. We're gonna mix these two shades again and just smoke out a little bit more of that edge. I just felt like it was lacking a little bit of color out there. We'd lost some of the dimension, so I wanted to add some of that back in. Once I got that eyeshadow all over the lid, it was like, okay, we need some more here. We need a little bit more dimension, a little bit more structure, so that's what we're doing. I want to darken up under the eye a little bit as well, so we're going to go back with that fluffy brush and that dark brown shadow and neutralize under the eye, so it's not quite as red orange toned. That's something for me that I really don't like that much, is like those warm tones under the eye. There's a time and a place for it for sure, but here I'm really looking for like a catty, you know, really lifted and smoked out on that edge, so it brings the eyes up and gives a bit more drama. So this really pulled that off. I love, love, love the way this is looking now. Favorite mascara ever. If you don't know it, now you know. There's some other good ones like the L'Oreal Telescopic and blah blah blah. I don't remember why I stopped using that one, but I feel like it had to do with animal testing or something along the lines of. If you guys know any updates on Maybelline or L'Oreal CoverGirl and whether they're animal testing still, do let me know. If you want to know any of those things, do ask the question and I will find out for all of us. I think mascara is like one of my favorite steps when it comes to makeup other than bronzer. Doing a little brow today. I'm going to mix the NYX Micro Brow Pencil with the brow gel from NYX. Great little combo. Can't complain about it. Used to hate this brow gel. Don't know why though. I'll have to go back and watch some of my old tutorials that I never posted because I tried it again and it was like trying it for the first time. I'm like, why did I ever hate this product? This is everything I need it to be. So a bit confused by my own on that one, but maybe it's just because I wasn't doing brows like I am now. So just coloring it in, not doing anything, you know, too structured or too crazy, just adding a little bit of dimension because we do have quite a colorful eye. I want to make sure the brows like stick out and they're kind of prominent. So I basically just follow my own shape here and make sure that the tail is really well defined. I brush the hairs up and I brush the hairs down when I do my eyebrows with a pencil, and then I go in with the spoolie after and just make sure there's no harsh lines and everything is blended, so it's sort of like a shadow instead of like lines for hairs, if that makes sense. I do have a different product that I use for the hairlines if I want to, but normally it's just brow gel. With a dark smoky eye like this, I like to add a little bit more dimension and use the pencil, but keeping it pretty simple. Then we're going in with this brow gel, brushing all the hairs basically straight up and then out when I get to the tail. Like literally at the front of my brow, I brush straight up. Sometimes like even in the opposite direction because they're not standing like up enough. This lip combo, ooh. Okay, Lolita. Let's talk about the liquid lips from Kat Von D. There's a lot of liquid lips out there. Jeffree Star, definitely one of our favorites because the colors are amazing, quality is amazing. Kat Von D, definitely right up there. Anastasia Beverly Hills, I'm not a fan. I tried them, I don't like them. They're weird, they're sticky. I don't like. Definitely not something I could wear every day on its own, but the Kat Von D ones here, yes, so much, yes. I always use lip liner when I'm doing a lip, no matter what, so just so my lips don't bleed. So that's why I'm using this Annabelle lip liner, and then going in with the Kat Von D. Lolita is the name of this color if you're as obsessed as I am. And that's it, guys. That's the whole look. The eyes are really the star of the show here. We want flawless skin and a really beautifully blended eye, and we pulled that off really well today. I hope you guys try this one. If you do, tag me in it. I'd be happy to comment. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.